Hello everyone, my name is Tyler Walters, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about antibiotic resistance. So, with that being said, in the 14th century, 75 million people died as a result of one bacteria strain known as Yersinia pestis. Yersinia pestis is more commonly known as either the bubonic plague or the Black Death. What wound up happening with this is there was no antibiotic resistance, or antibiotic in general, to act as a second barrier to prevent this bacteria from spreading, and thus it had no competition and rapidly spread across the entire world. The lethal component took effect, and thus we had this epidemic. An issue with this is it's possible for this to happen again. If the antibiotics that we currently have are rendered useless, then suddenly we're back into the 14th century as far as medicine. There's nothing to combat it. There's herbal treatments, but unfortunately they don't amount to anything when you're comparing to something as big and as problematic as Yersinia pestis. Why is this, and why is this being brought up now? It's been being brought up for the last 20 years. It's just, it doesn't receive a lot of publicity, and that's kind of the reason why I wanted to talk about this, is because although it's the cold hard evidence is there, it's just, it doesn't make the media. It's not overwhelmingly interesting to most people, and that's completely understandable. For the information that I'm going to be giving you guys, I pulled it from the Center for Disease Control. Basically, they're the leading figure for what's going on with bacteria and antibiotics and the whole 9 yards. And then also, I kind of referenced a bunch of smaller journals that I'll be referencing in the bottom of this video, probably in the comments somewhere. If you guys want to check it out, basically it'll provide a more in-depth look at what it is I'm talking about. So with that being said, the first thing I'd like to start off with is, what is an antibiotic? This is an antibiotic, figuratively speaking. What this does is it'll look around at all of these bacteriums, the red circles, and look for a specific component, be it a cell wall, DNA, or protein that is different from the ones that we're supposed to have. If it sees that it has it, it's going to kill all of them. Unfortunately, bacteria is sneaky, it manages to get away. Sometimes you get these three guys. So these two guys are just bacteria that manage to get away. It happens. This guy has a mutation, or is exhibiting a weakness of the yellow. So the weakness would be the fact that it's yellow. This bacteria was able to escape being killed by the antibiotic simply because it has this feature, which is called natural selection. What winds up happening is this guy spreads that component to all the other guys, and then they expand and then make tons of millions of copies of this specific resistant bacteria, and then suddenly all the bacteria is like that because all the old ones, they got killed. And now what winds up happening is we have this antibiotic that can't kill all of these other ones, and the epidemic happens. And that's kind of what happens with the bubonic plague minus the antibiotic, but at this point they're kind of moot. So, what is resistance? How did it form? The resistance is the mutation, spreading, and naturally selecting. A good thing a journal that I'd specifically like you to take a look at is what is adaptation by natural selection. It was published in Plos Genetics. I think it's something that's really worth taking a look at. So with that being said, the resistance takes place, the antibiotic has been rendered useless, and the first question people are going to ask is, well, why? Why did this happen? And it's mainly because if you're given 3 weeks to take an antibiotic course and you take it for only 2, you're not going to kill all the bacteria that's present. That same bacteria is able to re-expand, regrow, and exhibit that mutation or specific quality that allowed it to not be killed, and it's going to be the new. It's going to be the one that's present. And when that happens, this is how the resistance comes up. Currently, in today, the current events for this is there is superbugs coming out. And each day it gets worse. There's bigger, better bacteria forming every single day. And we can't keep up. You can develop medicine, but unfortunately it takes time and money, and the bacteria doesn't exist on that time frame. It expands very quickly. Without us doing our due part to make sure that we're taking care of our antibiotics, using them properly, not taking them when we're not supposed to be, this is how we fight this. This is how we prevent it from happening. This is how we prevent the 14th century bubonic plague from reoccurring. Before you guys go, I do encourage you guys to look into it a little bit on your own, get a little bit more detailed view of it, check out the links I'm going to be putting in. They really do the topic justice, but I understand that it's a lot of information in a little amount of time. So, with that being said, if you guys have any questions or anything, do not hesitate to reach out to me. I'll be more than willing to answer them. And if I can't answer them, I'm not going to try to give you guys an answer that I can't give. I will patch you along to somebody that I know can. So, thank you guys for listening.